Welcome to the February 4th, 2019 Frankfort Village Board meeting. We call this meeting to order and we ask our village administrator, Rob Pisha, to take the roll, please.
Mayor Allen?
Here.
Trustee Clavio?
Here.
Trustee Heath?
Here.
Trustee Kennedy?
Here.
Trustee Ogle?
Here.
Trustee Stevens?
Here.
Trustee Trevarthen is absent. The village clerk is absent. Attorney Mahoney?
Here.
Attorney Lamore? Police Chief Barica? Assistant Administrator Cook?
Here.
And the village administrator is here.
With us tonight are members of Cub Scout Pack 270 who are going to present the colors this evening.
Attention, will the audience please rise? Color guard, come forward. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color guard, post the colors. Color guard, retreat.
Please be seated. Well done, gentlemen. And we'd like to get back to you in just a minute under what we call the mayor's report, and we'll be there very soon. But first, we have what we call the unanimous consent agenda. All items on the unanimous consent agenda are considered routine in nature and will be voted on after a single motion. If one of the trustees wants to discuss one of the items in more detail, we'll just remove it from the consent agenda. So I first ask, do any trustees want to remove any items from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion, Mayor. I'll second.
We have a motion by, who was it? By Mike, by Trustee Stevens, and a second by Trustee Ogle to approve the consent agenda this evening. And we do want our rather large audience this evening in the boardroom to know something about the items that we're voting on. And we certainly want the audience at home on the internet and the television to know something about the items we're voting on. So we'll go over each one of them just briefly. The first item is the approval of the minutes from our last meeting, which was January 22nd. The second item is the approval of the bills, and we'll go to Trustee Heath, who is the chairperson of our Finance Committee, for a report on the bills.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight's bills total $1,348,909.81. The vast majority of that is due to capital expenditures for a wastewater treatment plant. Those totaled $1.1 million. The other funds that were expended include $115,000 for garbage and recycling, $14,000 for salt, and actually one of my questions later is going to be how are we doing with our salt situation. And then I would also note that there is going to be some additional overtime included in all of our salaries because with the recent snow and ice weather that we had, much overtime was needed, especially since we had to bring crews out over the weekend and in the evenings to try to keep up with it. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Cindy. And then we have 4 items from our Plan Commission, and we'll go to a report on those from Trustee Stevens, who is the liaison with the Plan Commission.
Thank you, Mayor. As you said, tonight we have 4 items from our Plan Commission. The first item concerns the Kirsch variances. The applicants are Mike excuse me, and Sandra Kirsch. They reside in the home at 215 Kansas Street and also own the adjacent home at 213 Kansas Street, which they operate as a rental property. The applicants propose to raise the home at 213 Kansas Street and build a new single-family residential home in its place that they will occupy as their primary residence. The subject property is substandard with respect to the lot width, depth, and area, which makes constructing a home of reasonable size difficult without some consideration for variances. To accommodate the construction of the proposed home, the applicants request approval of variances for the front, rear, side yard, and driveway setbacks, lot coverage, and building materials. As part of the public review process, the applicants worked with the Old Town Homeowners Association, who offered their support for this project. At our January 24th, 2019 meeting of the Plan Commission, this was reviewed, and they have made a unanimous recommendation to this board to approve the variance requests. The second item tonight is the O'Malley Builders variance. The applicant, Sean O'Malley, proposes to construct a 3,246 square foot family home at 20495 Abbey Drive within the Abbey Woods subdivision. The buildable area of the subject property is limited due to a stormwater management easement as well as a steep grade change from the front to the rear of the lot. In an effort to construct a home of a reasonable square footage, the applicant requests the approval of a side yard variance setback from 15 feet to 10 feet. The requested variance and proposed home were reviewed by the Abbey Woods Homeowners Association, and they approved with the granting of this variance. This item was also reviewed at our January 24th Plan Commission meeting, and again, they approved this by unanimous vote. Next, we have a plat of vacation approval for Aldi. In July of 2018, this board approved a major PUD change to permit the construction of a 3,286 square foot addition to the existing Aldi grocery store located at 20230 South LaGrange Road within the Frankfort Commons Shopping Center. At the time, final engineering plans were under review and not yet approved. As part of the final engineering review process, it was discovered that the proposed addition encroaches on an existing blanket easement on the subject property. Now, to permit the construction of the addition, the applicant is requesting approval of a plat of vacation to remove a portion of the blanket easement within the Frankfort Commons Shopping Center. This was also reviewed at our January 24th Plan Commission meeting, and again, it was approved by unanimous vote. And finally, we have a final plat approval for Pactiv. Pactiv LLC is an existing food packaging and food service products manufacturing facility located at 437 Center Road. And they are requesting final plat of subdivision approval to consolidate two existing lots under common ownership into a single lot of record for the existing facility. The subject property consists of two parcels with a combined area of 83.748 acres. However, the majority of the existing site improvements are located on the westernmost parcel. 4 buildings and a service road span the shared property line and extend onto the eastern parcel. The consolidation of these two existing parcels into a single lot will rectify the encroachment of the required yard setbacks along with the shared property line. And it addresses the current lack of access to the easternmost parcel and provides for further development of the parcel to the east. So again, this was reviewed at our January 24th Plan Commission meeting, and it was approved by a unanimous vote of our Plan Commission members. And Mr. Mayor, that's all that I have tonight from our Plan Commission.
So those are all of the items on our unanimous consent agenda this evening. And before we vote, is there anyone in the audience who wanted to make a comment to the village board about any of these issues? Well, hearing none, I would question if any of the trustees have any questions before we vote or any comments. Then let's go have the vote. We'll go to our village administrator, Rob Pisha, for the vote.
Trustee Clavio?
Yes.
Trustee Heath?
Yes.
Trustee Kennedy?
Yes.
Trustee Ogle?
Yes.
Trustee Stevens?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And now to the real business of this evening. It really is going to be fun this evening for the whole village board to recognize the Hickory Creek Middle School's cheer team for their outstanding achievement in winning the Illinois Elementary School Association's 2019 Cheerleading State Championship at the Peoria Civic Center on Saturday, January 12th. And this is for the 4th consecutive year that they've won. How exciting for our whole community. Ladies, I would appreciate it if you'd come forward to the podium, and I have a proclamation here, and I'm going to read it to you. Yeah, that's very formal. They can be any place they like. That's the way it works. Now, there are cameras up here and in back, so depending on how we're faced, but right now, we'll just stay where we are. I think this will work fine. And once again, I congratulate all of you on, frankly, bringing credit to our whole Frankfort community for the good job that you all have done, and then all the work that you've done to get this award or this contest to win. How exciting. And I have this proclamation, and I'm going to give it to, I suppose, one of you. I don't know how all of you can carry it, but we'll figure that out in just a minute. But I do want to read from it. And it says, whereas on January 12, 2019, the Hickory Creek Middle School cheer team won the Illinois Elementary School Association Cheerleading State Championship at the Peoria Civic Center. And whereas this talented team of student athletes brought home the state title in the large team routine cheerleading division for the 4th year in a row. And whereas this hard-working team received a score of 85.07, the best out of all the other schools competing in the division. And whereas in addition to the state competition, the Hickory Creek Middle School cheer team took 2nd place at the Joliet West Cheer Fest, 1st place at the Midwest Cheer Fest at Carl Sandburg High School, where they were also named grand champions in the large team routine division. And whereas cheer coaches Lauren Sabella and Ellen Hogan, athletic director Jennifer Rogers, principal Will Seidelman, superintendent Dr. Morazzini, and the faculty and student body of the Hickory Creek Middle School are justly proud of the cheerleader team's accomplishment. And whereas the 22 members of the Hickory Creek Middle School cheer team are, now let me get these right. This isn't going to be easy, you know. Julia Arrigo, Ella Banyas, Brooklyn Burke, Allie Collins, Ava Conway, Kate Capola, Sophia Dickinson, Jamie Duche, Gwen Drexel, Callie Johnson, Mari Lehan, Cammie Malik, Marissa Mangan, Courtney Marnaris, maybe, Caitlin Regnier, Jillian Resnick, Lauren Ristich, Caden Rust, Savannah Stolaric, Issa Tolowski, Lauren Vanderkoy, and Kason Wesley. Pretty good? Okay. Very good. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Now, therefore, the good people of the Frankfort community recognize the Hickory Creek Middle School cheerleading team for its extraordinary achievement in winning the 2019 Illinois Elementary School Association Cheerleading State Championship for the large team routine division. So there you go. That's the proclamation. Congratulations to all of you. Okay. So, you get to shake your hands now. That's kind of fun for me. So you'll just have to bear with me as I go around. Thank you. You guys did a great job. And so did your coaches. Yeah. Congratulations. All right. All right. And we'll come over this side. Now, do you think the people of Frankfort, you know, you're on TV here, and it seems reasonable that they would be able to see some of what made you the state champions. Think maybe you could show us something of that?
You guys can switch.
Yeah, good idea. All right, that would be wonderful. All right, there we go. Once again, congratulations to the coaches, them, and people, feel free to take pictures. That's what this is all about. Now, hang on, I have to get over. Oh, I think I'm going to stay out here and watch.
Tell us how long your season is. When do you start rehearsing and how long does it last?
We started our season in
Oh, please come up to the podium
Ellen.
so they can hear you on the television.
We started our season in September. September 12th was our tryout, so we're finishing it out months later, but we're very excited for their hard work and dedication after this incredible season. So we couldn't be more thankful, and especially to our parents who are constantly supporting us and bringing these girls, and they are so thankful and blessed beyond belief to have the support system that Frankfort offers. So we appreciate it, and we appreciate your acknowledgement tonight. And to our principal and to our superintendent, our athletic director, we thank you. We know how much you guys have given to us and supported us throughout this process. So very, very fortunate, and thank you, Frankfort, for all of your support. We have another state champion, though, with our Lincoln Way East, so these girls have a lot to look forward to. Frankfort should be very proud. Thank you.
And how appropriate to thank the parents for all of their efforts and all of the time that it takes them to work with these activities at school. Anyone else? Any other comments? Great, then we're going to move on to the next operation, and certainly feel free to go, or you can stay the whole evening if you like. But thank you. Scouts, you guys are going to be next. So it was Frankfort's Cub Scout Pack 270 that presented the colors this evening. And what we would like is for the den leader, that's Dave Rigoni, and Maura, I'm not sure what a committee chair is, but it certainly sounds important. If you'd like to come up too, that would be great. But we definitely want to have the Scouts come up to the podium, and frankly, we just want to thank you. So you guys did a nice job this evening. Really did an excellent job, and good for you. I understand that you're working on merit badges. Would that be right? Is this part of one of your merit badges?
Yes.
It is. Which one?
Pause for action.
Pause for action.
Pause for action. Well, that sounds pretty important. Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. So, tell me, are you involved in any sports?
I do hockey.
You're a hockey
hockey.
player. Oh, very nice. That's great.
And I'm going to play baseball in the summer.
You're going to do baseball?
I
Excellent.
do soccer.
Soccer? That's hard. Tires you out. Yeah. How about, are you all in the same grade?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have the same teacher?
No. But
Oh, who's your teacher?
Magana, Jared. Us three have Magana. Yeah. And I have Holthouse. He's actually right next to us. I'm homeschooled.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I think that's great. So, what I want to do is just at least recognize there's an Andrew Sidlowski here.
That's me.
That's you. Congratulations. Well done. And then Ben Rigoni. Yeah. Yeah. Did you know where your mother sits here? Yeah, right there where Mr. Kennedy is at Plan Commission meetings. That's right. She does a very good job for us, and we appreciate you giving her up a couple of evenings a month. Drew Hunt. That's you, huh? Oh, good. And then, who is it? Henry Cherney? He's not here? Okay. Jared Turlip? You're Jared? Yeah. Oh, congratulations. That's a great name. And Tyler Spichalski. Did I get that right?
Close.
Close. What would be right?
Spahalski.
Really?
Yeah. C silent. Actually.
Oh, it should be just the H.
Yeah.
Right, I should know that. Well, maybe I'll learn. So do you guys have any questions for the mayor?
How long have you been mayor?
I've been mayor for just about 14 years. How old are you?
9.
9. You know what that means. I'm the only mayor you've ever known. Isn't that fun? Great. Any other questions?
Do you have any other jobs?
Do I have any other jobs? No. I'm retired. I had a job, but, you know, we get old. And so we do other things.
When was this building built?
This building is about almost 4 years old now. Is that right?
We dedicated it
2015 we dedicated it, so it's 2019 now. It's a little under 4 years, but yeah, what do you think of it?
It's nice.
It's nice. Oh, you ought to see the mayor's office. It's really cool. Yeah, it's way fancier than I need, but it's fun. How about anything else?
Why are you thinking about taking down the water tower?
Oh, I'm not thinking about taking down the water tower. I wouldn't want to do that. I want the water tower to stay up. But it's a question of cost. It's very expensive to keep it up. So how do we do that? Well, a good way would be for the people of Frankfort to raise the money to keep it up. And there's a group of people who are doing that. And they've raised quite a bit of money. So if we can keep it up, we will. And congratulations to the people of Frankfort to take their own money to try to preserve that water tower. How's that? Did that answer your question? Isn't that like a politician that went all around? Yeah. Is that it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thanks, guys. Well done. Yeah. See ya. Bye. Thanks, Maura and Dave.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mayor, just a point of order. I don't want to confuse Ben, but his lovely mother sits right here on this side.
Oh,
Mr. Savaria sits here, so I wouldn't want him confused. So sorry about that.
that would be confusing.
Yes, it would, Mayor.
Yeah, for sure. So the next item on the mayor's report is the Winter on the Green events. Certainly last Saturday's chili cook-off was a wonderful event, as it always is, and I hope a lot of people got to attend. I wasn't able to the first time in, I think, 14 years that I haven't been to the chili cook-off, but it happens that sometimes we can't make it. Next Saturday, February 9th, is when we celebrate Valentine's, but what's fun about this event is the scouts are there, and they put up tents and that sort of thing, so that's kind of fun to see. And they bake dessert, peach cobblers and various kinds of foods to eat there. And then there's a chocolate fondue that's served by the Rotary Club of Tinley Park in Frankfort. And of all things, the Heartland Blood Center will have a mobile unit there for blood donations. I suggest that you give the blood before eating all of the foods that are available. Who knows how that's supposed to work. But anyway, Winter on the Green, next weekend's the last weekend, and they've certainly been fun this year. And one announcement is our next board meeting is on Tuesday, February 19th, instead of the second Monday of the month, or the third Monday of the month, and that's because of the President's holiday. It's actually interesting. It's against the law to have board meetings on holidays, so you can't do that. We have to move our meeting whenever Monday is a national holiday. And I did have one additional item that I wanted to comment on. One of our community members pointed out to us an article in a magazine called Movie Maker. And the title of the article is "The Best Places to Live and Work as a Movie Maker." And then it says for big cities. And I'll just read a portion of this article. "I found Chicago to be invigorating," says writer-director Travis Stevens, who directed his debut horror film, The Girl on the Third Floor, in 2018. Trendy Chicago suburb Frankfort was chosen as a prominent location due to its haunted Victorian-style mansions, one of which the crew members made their own. And he goes on to say, many of our crew on The Girl had only been in the business a short time, but they were some of the most competent professionals I've had the pleasure to work with. Stevens praised Illinois' film office, the firefighters, the police, caterers, and merchants who opened their doors to The Girl, calling it a solid foundation for the production. They all made one great case for why the Windy City is such an exciting place to shoot now," he adds. So there we have it, in a movie magazine, something about Frankfort, and that's just another place that apparently we stand out, and we like to hear that sort of thing. So that concludes the mayor's report, and we'll go to our police chief, John Barica, for the police department report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I would like to thank the Scouts for coming out and presenting the colors. They did a great job today. It was very nice seeing you guys out here. Also, to the Hickory Creek cheerleaders, having been to many cheerleading competitions in my lifetime, I know how hard it is to finish first, let alone do it 4 years in a row, so that's a great job by them. They should be really proud of that. I'd like to again remind people that we do have our Citizens Police Academy coming up, which will start on March 7th from 7 to 9:30 at the Sheriff's Office on Laraway Road. You do have to put an application in, must be 18 years or older, and pass a background check if you're interested in learning how police departments work. It's a great program, goes 12 weeks long, and you can learn a lot there. And finally, as usual, I would like to remind people to make sure they lock their car doors and take their keys inside. We again have seen an uptick in cars getting broken into, and they're stealing cars, and even going so far as sometimes using the garage door openers inside of cars parked outside to open garage and go into cars inside garages. So we could stop most of this by just locking cars, because we've seen them on video, and we're putting some out on our Facebook soon, showing them. They just go around looking for open car doors. So if you just lock your doors, you could save yourself the headache of having your stuff taken. That's all I have.
Thank you, John. And now the village administrator's report. We'll go to our village administrator, Rob Pisha.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too also want to congratulate the Hickory Creek cheerleaders. Great job representing the community 4 years in a row is quite an accomplishment for winning the state title. Also wanted to thank the Boys Cub Scouts for coming out for presenting the colors. They did a fantastic job doing that. And also just wanted to let the residents know there's a couple issues that have come up with the recent snow events. First, just to remind people that when the temperature gets below 10 degrees, that road salt actually doesn't work. So that's why you may see that when you have a snow event and there's snow on the road and it gets really cold, that the salt will not melt the snow. So just please use extra caution when you're driving during those kind of events. Also, a lot of complaints with recent snow events, people saying with snowplows are putting snow at the end of people's driveways. While we know this is kind of a pain, especially when you first get your driveway cleared and then the snowplow happens to come by and put the snow right back. But just want to let residents know that it's impossible for the snowplows to complete their routes if they had to pick a blade up at every driveway. So you can actually help the drivers, and it helps you if you move the snow that's basically before each side of your driveway, and it's a lot of times it won't end up back in. But unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do about that just because of the fact that we have to get the streets cleared. And finally, I just wanted to thank all of the public works, utilities, and the police department for their work during the recent cold event where we were subarctic temperatures. Obviously, we were still out. We had a crew that had to handle a water main break. The police department obviously were out there still handling calls, assisting motorists with cars, and then obviously our public works guys were out keeping the streets clear. So just wanted to thank everybody for their fine work during this recent winter event. And that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Rob. And now we go to our two village attorneys who are with us this evening, Hannah Lamore and George Mahoney, for the village attorney's report.
No report tonight, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Well, that's good from you, Hannah. How about you, George?
I have no report either.
Oh, very well. And that brings us to the part of our meeting we call Other Business, and this evening we'll start with Trustee Ogle.
Thank you, Mayor. Sort of to echo Rob's point, too, there were quite a few concerns and questions come up every snow event. Certainly our public works guys and the other ones that came out to plow did a great job. They're very conscientious about it, and there are restrictions on what you can do. I did see a video from this Australian or European thing where they have this device that actually works so it doesn't cover a driveway. I'm sure those are out of our budget for this year, but it was pretty neat to see that. But our guys work very hard, and our ladies as well, and our first responders, the police, fire, and utilities. Nobody else was going out on Wednesday, and they were still out. You might have learned a lot about your family on Wednesday, being in such close quarters, but it was good, and we didn't have some of the power outages that some of the other areas had. Again, our Lincoln Way East cheerleaders have won state. I think we'll be recognizing them soon. There was a little parade for them on Saturday morning. Congratulations again to our Hickory Creek cheerleaders. They're amazing, and I think that's going to be years and years of championships ahead for them as well. Just so everybody doesn't forget, Valentine's Day is coming up, so guys, make sure you get that on your calendar. Don't be left out in the cold. It's on the 14th. And one item that was really part of our consent agenda, I didn't really want to pull it off, but there was commentary. I wouldn't really change the way that I approached it, but I just wanted to make a few comments. The Kirsch variance, we frequently get challenged on how many variances happen in the Old Town because of the process. The Kirsch family did meet with the Old Town homeowners, went through a process with them before that. This is an area that is zoned R2. It's residential, but it's adjacent to the historic H1 district. So it's something that I think there's a proper amount of concern, and they went through the right steps to do this. And even though variances were granted, there was a lot of review in the process, and I appreciate that. And also just want everybody to know that your village board, your village administration takes these things very seriously, and we look at any changes to our downtown very carefully. And this one, again, all the parties that were involved, it wouldn't have changed the vote. I still was in favor of the project. We had letters as well from the neighbors that were adjacent, all in support. There are quite a few letters in support of the project as well. That was all I had for tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, Keith. And then Trustee Stevens.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be a little redundant tonight with all the thanks, but I do want to congratulate our Hickory Creek Middle School cheerleaders for an excellent job. And as we mentioned before, thanking the teachers, the coaches, and most importantly, the parents who make sure that the girls get there for all their meets and all their practices. As Keith said, our Lincoln Way East cheerleaders took first in state this year. I think all 3 Lincoln Way schools went to state this year. They did a fabulous job, and I'm sure we'll be recognizing the Lincoln Way East cheerleaders at a future meeting. I do want to thank our Public Works, our Utility Department for the work, as our administrator noted during the last Arctic freeze that we had. Our police department also was out there. They don't take a day off, and our fire department personnel don't take a day off either, out there making sure that we're all safe and protected. Cub Scouts, excellent job tonight. You did a really yeoman's work bringing that flag up here tonight. We do appreciate it, and I do want to thank Dave and Maura Rigoni for their work with the group, as well as the other parents that are here tonight. It's a wonderful thing that you're doing, getting your boys involved with that group, and I'm sure the Cub Scouts, the Girl Scouts are the same way. So a lot of thank yous tonight, but there's a lot of people to thank. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mike. And Trustee Heath.
I'll try to be brief. Obviously, congratulations to the cheerleaders. Trustee Clavio and I had an opportunity to see them perform last Friday, and what they do really is outstanding. It's what you would expect from a very talented high school team, way beyond what we did when we were that age. So congratulations to them and to Lincoln Way, and I definitely wanted to show appreciation for the staff, the police, the fire, that were out there on those horrible, cold, slippery days. One morning I woke up around 3:30 or 4, and I heard something, and I went outside, and there was a snowplow in my cul-de-sac. I was home toasty, and they were out plowing the streets. So make sure that everybody appreciates how much we know what they do and are grateful for what they're doing. And then just my last question that I asked you is, how are we on salt? Because I read where some cities and villages were not able to get the salt that they needed.
Actually, we are in very good shape with our salt. Last winter wasn't as bad as we had projected, and that way we didn't use the salt that we had to, and we had quite a bit stored up. And because we've had, up until the last 3 weeks, we had a fairly mild winter. But obviously, with every time we have a snow event, just a little bit, we use up a lot of salt. We use about 100 tons each time we go through a pass. So we go through it quickly, but as you've seen in the bill list, we're starting to get our next allotment, and we're required to take 90% of that. So we'll be replenishing our salt supply. So right now we're okay, and we have more salt coming in.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Cindy. And now Trustee Kennedy.
Yeah, Mayor, thank you very much for reading that article before, and it's just another reason why living in Frankfort is a really special place. I think Hickory Creek was awarded the Blue Ribbon Award, and Lincoln Way High School was awarded an exemplary status in the state. And you look at the academics at the schools, not only the athletics, but more importantly the academics, and Frankfort's a great place to raise a family and send your kids to school. So congratulations to the Hickory Creek cheer team. They did a great job. And congratulations to Cub Scout Pack 270 for being here. That was one of the best presentations I can remember seeing being done. So good job, you guys. And thanks for staying all the way to 20 to 8 tonight. So it was nice, you guys, to hang with us. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. And Trustee Clavio.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I echo a lot of my colleagues as well. Lady Tigers, congratulations. It was very impressive to see them in action, like Trustee Heath had said. A shout out to Trustee Heath, because she coordinates her outfit for every event, and she had on the exact same school colors as the Tigers. It was pretty impressive. So kudos to you, Trustee Heath. I, of course, did not think that out, so I was overshadowed, but thank you. But you looked awesome. Cub Scouts, congratulations, well done. Is this the final phase? Do you pass? Do you get your merit badges now? You don't have to write a report or anything? No? This is it? They don't hand them to you out the door? All right, well, good luck with the rest of that. Good job tonight. And one thing that Coach said about the Lady Tigers, which goes for both the Lady Tigers and the Lady Griffins, is this is about the families. It's about support, and that's what Frankfort has to offer, is some solid families, solid support, where it's not just the kids who do it, it's the family, the parents driving, it's the brothers and sisters who get skipped from one event or the other and have to make a decision. So it really is a true family thing, which goes to all of them, so thanks to all of them. And then I will end with, I was educated in this last snowstorm because Mr. Kestel had texted me and said, you talked about going on a ride, how about tonight? It was, so they picked me up at 10 o'clock last week. I think it was Saturday was a snowstorm, Friday, or 2 weeks ago. And I personally had no idea that each snowplow takes 4 passes on one street to get that street clean. So when it was snowing that night, by the time we got the first pass done and went to the second, the first pass was already filling up with more snow. So it is a complete task of what has to happen, not to mention the fact that some of our streets don't have curbs and they start to slant off. So as the tow truck actually is plowing the edge of the street, they're actually in jeopardy of dumping that truck over if they make one false move. So there's a tremendous skill that goes into it. I should also probably mention that just getting in and out of the truck is an accomplishment in itself, because I think I face planted on the ice in my driveway as I was getting out of the truck. So kudos to them. It's a tremendous task. When it comes to public utilities, when it comes to public safety like fire and police, that's what our tax dollars are well invested with. So thank you to them, John and your department, the fire and the public works. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, John. And finally, it's time for public comments. Is there anyone who would like to say anything to the village board tonight? Please, could you come forward?
Mayor Holland, my name is Grant Deedy. I'm a 16-year resident of Frankfort. We live right downtown, 234 Kansas Street. We love it here. And I'm here tonight to just talk a little bit more about something that Chief Barica mentioned, and I am one of the people who had their car stolen in the last week or so. So a week ago, last Sunday night, we had a little party at my house, went till about 1 in the morning. I had pulled the cars out of the garage because there was people in there, and we were keeping the drinks out there, and it was cold. The plan was end of the night, put the cars back in the garage. I, of course, forgot to do that and had left the keys in my car as well. So 100% my fault. The Frankfort police have been terrific to work with, but I wanted to come here tonight and just kind of tell everybody what happened, how it happened, just to bring some more awareness to it and to offer at least whatever assistance I can bring to help prevent any other family to have to go through this. They actually recovered the car. We had the OnStar on it, so the thieves had it for about 33 hours. They found it at 111th and Halstead. It is now back in Mokina getting repaired. The car will be gone for about a month. It's dinged and scratched up a bit, but for the most part, we'll get it back intact, which is good. But whatever I think I can do as a resident, I know it's happening at neighborhoods all over the place. I know it's happening in Mokina. I work with a woman who lives in Glenview. It's happening there. So I just guess I wanted to just open it up and find out, you know, beyond warning people, which I read it in the Frankfort Station, and I heard the chief talk tonight about it. Is there anything else we can or should be doing as residents? Because, I mean, I live in one of the most insulated pockets in this town. 234 Kansas Street is on the other side of Maple, tucked back in there in a cul-de-sac. And to me, it was an incredibly bold theft right out of the driveway. The police thought it probably happened about 2 or 3 in the morning. So I just wanted to come tonight and talk a little bit about that and raise some more awareness for it.
It's certainly appreciated, Grant, that you are saying something. I think just having a citizen come and speak helps the issue. It helps create more awareness.
Right.
And I know our police chief has been working hard on an awareness campaign.
Yeah.
He's also working on ways to deter
Yeah.
this type of crime. And John, I don't know if you want to talk about this a little bit, or what we can do and what other communities are doing. But a lot of the cars are recovered, interestingly enough.
They're usually only used for a short time, and so that we find them in some of our eastern suburbs and in the city. But yeah, most of these kids, I mean, ideally, if you have, the best thing is cameras. People who have cameras at home, they can give us video footage, helps us on those. People have talked about license plate readers, however, most of the time they're coming in a stolen vehicle.
Yeah.
So that doesn't necessarily help very much. But it's really just getting the word out there, and it's when you hear something or see something, you know, calling police right away. We're out and about, and in the last couple weeks, they've actually gotten close enough to, you know, when they're there and they take off. But again, they're pretty bold, and going so far as now, as I said, using garage door openers sometimes to look see what's inside the garage. But it's just getting that information out there, reminding people. But it's really, like I said, it's calling police. Whenever you hear anything, see anything, no matter how silly it is, if your dog starts barking, call us. We're out there and we're waiting for the call. So that's the best method right now.
All right. Thanks for your time.
I wish we had the perfect answer, but we're looking for it. Thank you. Anyone else? Very well. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned.